What's up, everybody? It's your boy Digital here. So I don't know about you, but this last week and especially these past few days, I have been absolutely glued to the FaZe versus TFue contract agreements. I was never the biggest supporter of the FaZe clan, at least not since the MW2 days. But as a full-time watcher of YouTube and now a part-time content creator myself, I couldn't help but to keep up with the latest he said she said and all-around drama. We've just come off the coattails of one of the site's most controversial and blown out of proportion scandals with James Charles.
Hi sisters, hi sisters, hi sisters.
Can I get a bye, sister? No, I'm playing. But even with that beef still sizzling fresh off of the grill, not even a few days passed and here comes the waiter hoisting a plate of fully charred Xbox controller. Now this is something I could dig into. As I'm sure you could already tell by the content on this channel thus far, I'm more into gaming and movies than I am makeup and beauty gurus. So when I first caught wind of the story, interested would be to say the least. However, I know that the era of YouTube I loved and cherished from 2008 to 2012 is a thing of the past. And today's YouTube is owned by Google, ran by multi-million-dollar corporations, and forefronted by the likes of the Paul brothers and every other Viner that decided to hop on the bandwagon. That being said, I knew this altercation wasn't going to be as simple as he didn't show up for a scrim or
those kids were so f***ing bad, dude. I'm so dumb, dude. I'm done with this game, man. Is he f***ing bad, dude? He's so bad, man. Are you kidding me? I couldn't build because of this stupid crate, dude? The metal crate? Are you kidding me, dude?
FaZe itself is not new to slanderous stories and drama. From the time in which they got outed for being a house full of rich, functioning stoners, to the countless feuds between FaZe Banks and Jank Paul, FaZe Banks in the restaurant, FaZe Banks in the world. No, I'm playing, you get the point. FaZe is not an all high and mighty organization, but they're definitely not the worst either. FaZe was started back in 2010 by FaZe Housecat, FaZe Clips, and Resistance. And in those days, I think it goes without saying that they were the hottest thing to emerge out of the Call of Duty sniping community. And if I'm gonna be fully honest, I never would have predicted in a million years that they would still be around today. Seeing companies like Maker Studios and Machinima behind the scenes just crumble from corruption personally leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But if creating a company/brand that stands on its own 2 feet for the better half of the last decade means anything, I feel like it goes to show just how smart and business savvy the heads of the clan have been over the last 8 to 9 years. However, even though the FaZe clan has seen enormous growth, they've moved on from solely gaming, and branching out into many different aspects of content creation could possibly make it hard to watch or even keep up with for an OG fan. But I would say the loss was most definitely worth it, as they are now standing at a strong 6.5 million subscribers, with each individual member ranking up in the millions of subscribers as well. In April of 2018, Turner Tenney, aka TFue, was added to the roster of FaZe, and well, I'm sure the majority of you know the rest. The man is an absolute beast when it comes to Fortnite, and in my opinion, TFue himself has been the only thing relatively interesting about the game since about Season 6. Nonetheless, even though the third-person Battle Royale was seemingly on its way to the Moldtown Road, and the kitchen was just beginning to heat up with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson standing behind the fridge flexing, May 20th brought something even crazier. TFue and his lawyers officially filed a lawsuit against the FaZe clan, claiming that his current contract with them was flooded with abusive and unjust terms, that FaZe encourages dangerous behavior amongst its gamers, and even is going as far to suggest it would have an 80-20 split in the favor of the organization. I'll throw up the terms and all that have been released on the screen right now, but oh my god, when it came to light that these conditions were true, I immediately jumped to the conclusion that it had to be the fault of the FaZe clan. But I took a second and I thought again. What's really going on here? Beneath the drama, beneath the clout chasing, things just didn't seem to add up. Now I know that Banks does not have the best track record, and his history makes it a little dodgy on whether or not how trustworthy he can be, but after this suit was made and the floodgates had been opened, Ricky took no time to go to Twitter and fully air out his side of the story, or at least what he wants us to believe is his side. And then he went to make a full video describing in detail his perspective on the situation. Now according to Banks and the current CEO of FaZe, Lee Trink, the outrageous and absolutely preposterous contract that entitles the clan to up to 80% of TFue's earnings, particularly on brand deals that they bring to the table, was initially put into motion by an old regime at FaZe. Certainly, I am aware and pretty sketchy of corporations and big companies taking advantage of the little guy here on YouTube, but I think that's an unfair black and white blanket to just throw on this situation. Business is tricky. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to do what's in their best interest and what will give them the most money to support themselves and their families. However, this is where things tend to get a little confusing for me. While Banks was in the process of dropping his initial video in regards to the allegations, TFue seemed to stay quiet. A little too quiet. Perhaps it was something he was told on behalf of his lawyers, but from the guy who actually signed this so-called bogus contract and was seemingly doing anything and everything to get out of it, as going far as to even sue his own team, the silence was a little peculiar. It dawned on me that this outcry of hate and retaliation for the FaZe clan is exactly what TFue and his team intended on. If you think about it, at the end of the day, Turner signed the contract, and whether or not he was pressured into it or just wasn't bright enough to hire a lawyer, or heck, maybe he even did read it over and obliged to the terms willingly. But with all that being said, legally, it seemed as if the FaZe clan was still in the right here, and that's where my view started to shift. Not only did it come to light that FaZe had previously acknowledged the current blasphemous agreement, it had come to my attention as well that they had been reaching out to Turner and his management in talks of renegotiating the contract terms for months.
As early as September 28th of last year, we sent the first revised version of a contract for TFue. In the middle of January, I flew down with Banks and TFue's direct manager to go sit and have a face-to-face with him and his dad to see if we can make some progress. We sent him a new agreement to his lawyer January 24th of this year. We sent another updated thought on April 3rd.
Now, just to be clear, I don't think FaZe is fully to be trusted here, and even if it was an old regime that conjured up this butt-kicking of a contract, most of the members who reside in the clan today were present when the old leadership was in place, so who knows how many of the members are still under similar contracts. And I don't believe it deserves to go unnoticed, however, that the new CEO Trink has claimed to have been trying to make things right and renegotiate with their leading talent TFue for months. I repeat, for months. So now here we are, all awaiting the words of one man, or maybe it was just me waiting. But on May 22nd, TFue posted an official response to his personal YouTube channel entitled #Release the Contract. He backtracked a little bit at first on the claims about smoking and drinking and encouraging reckless behavior, mentioning he didn't want that in the suit, which seems odd as his lawyers work with him and for him. But the message was short and sweet. He wanted them to release the contract. Now, as of recording this video, I believe the contract has not officially been 100% released to the public, but there have been leaks and snippets that the FaZe clan had posted to their social medias in defense. Shortly after TFue's video, DM messages were leaked. These included his brother, stating that a main contributing factor in which why Turner wants to leave FaZe is to proceed in the creation of his own esports organization. Now, if you ask me, that's just crazy, and this is where it all started to make sense. It seems to me that this is what happened. FaZe Banks saw and realized the talent in a small but prospering TFue, and being part owner of FaZe, I'm sure went straight into recruiter mode. I'm assuming they took Turner and gave him the star treatment, flying him out to LA, putting him in their vlogs, doing all that they could to show him just how awesome life would be with FaZe. So after enjoying himself, and I'm sure after a little bit of talking with his family, TFue decided to make the leap and sign on with one of the world's biggest, most popular gaming organizations. The first few months to half a year seemingly went off without a hitch. This is where I, and I'm sure many of you, initially got introduced to the legend that became TFue. I hadn't even been keeping up with Fortnite for a while, and still his name was cluttered all over my social media. In FaZe Banks' video, he briefly goes into talking about how the real reason TFue left LA was because of a girl. I don't know the full truth of this, none of us do, but if this is real, it seems to me that after a successful period with the FaZe clan, some inner turmoil caused a rift between Turner and the other members. I believe this situation either caused TFue to go back and look at the terms of his current contract, or caused him to regret his initial decision to sign the bizarre paperwork, which then led to his decision to lawyer up and figure out the best way to GTFO. And what's the best way to do that? What's the best way to get out of a legally binding contract? Make a stink in public about it, causing so much bad press that the organization is forced to pull something drastic. And I believe that's where we are now. With an organization that's main priority is money, but also to maintain its reputation and relationship with its players. 2, a gamer who is one of the best at what he does and feels as if he's been used and or manipulated. And 3, a contract that should never been signed, nonetheless conjured up. Almost every aspect of this beef is absolutely insane. I don't know who's particularly to blame, but I don't think there's really one exact person or entity that's at fault. Just like life, the situation is convoluted and messy. Everybody seems to be at blame for something and wants to be at blame for nothing. If there's one thing we can all take away from this, I think it's that you should always lawyer up before signing something and not after. It doesn't help anybody and just causes more drama for people like Keemstar and myself to profit off of. No, but at the end of the day, I love YouTube, drama or no drama, and I'm still so amazed at just how grand and vast this site has become, though perhaps maybe TFue would have been better off if he had just broadcast himself. Seriously, thanks for watching, and remember to leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are on the FaZe Clan vs TFue beef, cause I'm eating it up. And don't forget to subscribe as well as hit the bell to receive a notification every time there's a new upload. It's been your boy Digital Arc. I'm signing out. Thanks for watching.